So let's start working with the document object model. And we're gonna review in this video some of the methods when you're working with the document object model or the DOM. In your course materials, you will find this DOM card. We're gonna open this into Visual Studio Code and we're going to run the server. So let's open the index.html, right click and open with live server. Close this. And open with live server. And this is going to be the project that we're gonna work in this chapter. It's going to be a really simple HTML, but this contains all the different elements that we can select using JavaScript. So we're gonna close this. And in the JavaScript folder, you will find this app.js, so open that file. And we're gonna start working with the DOM. So we're gonna create a variable, we're gonna call this one element. And we're gonna send that to the console so we can see the values that we're sending to the console. So the most important keyword is going to be one called document. We're gonna add element equals to document. All your selectors in JavaScript will start with this document. Always is going to start like this. So if we create document and then we assign that value to the element, we're gonna see this value into the console. Also, for example, if you type document here, it's going to return the same. It's exactly the same, but we are doing this in code. So let's expand this and you can see that we have all the HTML. We also have the head with the style sheets, also the title. And if you open the body, you will find all the HTML that we have also in this index.html. All this code is the same. So this is going to be the global document. This document is going to be the parent of all the selectors. So for example, we can add something else. Right here, I'm going to add element equals to document dot all, like this, and it's going to print all the different tags that we have in this HTML. You can see that we have the HTML, we have head, meta, title. We also have the links for the style sheets, and we have all the HTML. You can see that we have 207 different tags. So this .al is going to return all the different tags that you have in your HTML. And you can see that this is returning something called the HTML collection. It's really similar to an array, but it's not an array. But you can access the values, for example, the same using the index. So we're gonna add all, and we're gonna add the index, which is going to be 0. And you can see this is going to return the whole HTML. We're gonna add, for example, something like 200. And you can see that this is printing an anchor with the text help, which is going to be here on the bottom. So something like this. So of course there are more efficient ways of selecting these links, but we're gonna see those in upcoming videos. We're gonna add another one, for example, element equals document.head is going to return only the head of the document, which is going to be this part. So open this, you can see we have the same. Also we have document body, so we can copy this and paste, and this is going to return all the content that is inside the body tag. So we're gonna open body, and you can see we have everything right here. We have the header, we have the footer, and the links to the JavaScript files. We can also print element equals to document dot domain. Save this, and this is going to return the URL where your project is hosted. Then we're going to add, for example, the URL, which is going to print the same, but also is going to print the port. And you can see that we have in the top the file name. We also can copy this. Since all these are going to be the same, we can print something called the character set. Save this, and you can see that we have the UTF-8, which is going to be here on the top. It's going to be the char set of the document. So we can copy this and paste, and we're going to add, for example, the content type. Content type in uppercase, and it's going to be text, HTML, the whole document that we have here. For example, if you are using JSON, it's going to print JSON. If you are using XML, it's going to print XML and others. So for example, there are other selectors. We're going to see, for example, how to select all the links. We can add element equals to document dot links. This is going to return all the tags that include this anchor. You can see we have some of them here on the top. Here on the card you have these are links. We have also the buttons to add to the card. And here on the bottom we have a bunch of different links. So for example, let's select this one, the number 2. You can see this one has an ID, has some classes, so it's going to be a good example. So again, this is an HTML collection, but you can access this using the index similar to an array. So it's going to be number 2. Save this, and this is going to print this clear card, which is going to be right here. It's going to be this one. So you can see that this contains an ID and also a class, so you can access those values adding something like this: the document.links, then the index, then a dot, and an ID. And it's going to print this is the ID. And also you can add dot class name to print the different classes. There is another one called class list, and this is going to print the classes in something similar to an array. You can see we have 0 and we have 1, but this is something called the DOM token list, but it's really similar to an array.